I did what almost everybody in the Amazon space tells you not to do. I launched a supplement brand. In this video, I break down a blow-by-blow account of the first couple weeks of this launch, including how I ranked the #1 most competitive keyword in this category in the top 10 in under 1 week, and all of the bloody, gory details, including how hard it is to profitably launch in competitive categories on Amazon. This is gonna be a doozy. This is stuff you don't see anywhere else. Let's go. Hey guys, welcome to Heist. This is the YouTube channel that is all things Amazon FBA, where I document my journey on launching brands, launching products, and all of the strategies that go into building and scaling a 7- and 8-figure Amazon brand. Today's video is going to be unique. I recently launched a supplement brand, which is one of the most competitive categories on Amazon. It's where all of the ruthless competitors are. But we had a unique idea. I figured we could tackle it, and this video breaks down the last couple weeks of launching this product. Be sure to stay through to the end of this video because I've got an interesting freebie that I'm gonna give everybody, which is a poster of my rapid rank formula showing all the different steps I go through, including this launch. So with that, let's dive into it. We are going to go end to end, step by step on how this launch took place. Man, it is so good to be back in the war room breaking down another launch. And in this video, it's going to be special because it's a supplement launch. So this is the Rapid Rank Formula Supplement Edition. So before we get into all the gory details of this launch, let's just kind of break down a bit of groundwork and context first. I should start off by saying that it really is probably a bad idea for anybody to launch in the supplement category unless they have a decent amount of experience, decent amount of risk tolerance, and a decent amount of funding, or at least an ability to see some money get burned up. It's one of the most ruthless, expensive, and difficult markets to enter on Amazon. So this isn't a how-to video on how you should do it. This is just a documentation of my experience doing it. So why, if it's so risky and everybody says not to do it, am I doing it? Well, a couple reasons. The first is, you get in this game long enough, you build up some experience, you build up some cash flow, you kind of want the next challenge. It's like anything in life, you want to kind of see what the next domino is that you can tackle. And I figured I've never gone into a hyper competitive category before, so let's give it a shot and see what happens. So personal challenge #1. The second is I've got a brand partner in this project that has no Amazon experience, actually a guy that has worked for me in the past, and just super smart young guy, really good at data, and is really the customer archetype of the customer that we're targeting with this brand. So I wanted to bring somebody under my wing, teach them Amazon, and then leverage their know-how of a particular market and their data analysis chops that I can hopefully leverage for my other Amazon projects as well. And then positioning, I really feel like we have a unique angle with this product. So I feel like we could win. I would not enter an initiative if I didn't think I had a shot at winning. So I think our positioning is pretty interesting. And then finally, steel sharpens steel. I want to find out in one of the more competitive spaces what's possible, and I think it will make me a better Amazon seller for all of my brands and products that I deploy. All right, so let's get after the fun stuff. The launch playbook. This is really the steps that I go through with every single brand, every single launch, every single project. Again, stay through to the end. I've got a really cool visual that breaks down this process in detail, and I'm going to give a free copy away. But we're going to walk through each one of these steps as part of this deep dive. The first is the customer archetype. I like to focus on a very particular customer segment first, and then I'll step back from that and figure out the product strategy and all of the other Amazon strategies to determine whether or not it makes sense to tackle that. So always start with a customer first, not a product first. So this particular customer is hyper differentiated. It's a very niche specific segment that I feel is underserviced in the supplement category. And because it's a hyper unique customer, there's very unique places where they congregate online. So they're easier to isolate and target. And oftentimes that traffic is significantly less expensive than traditional outlets like Instagram and Facebook and these other platforms where most of the mass advertising takes place online. And then also, this is a growing and global segment. So it's not going anywhere. In fact, it's probably going to increase. And as the brand opportunities expand, if we find success in the North American market, I think that there's a lot of growth in Europe and Asia for this particular category. So that's the backdrop. Once you've got a customer, the next is differentiation. And this is the purple cow differentiation theory, which is a Seth Godin book from, I think it's probably over a decade old now, but it's finding really, really unique standout qualities in your brand, in your product that customers gravitate towards, find interesting, and find compelling. This isn't being weird for the sake of being weird, but it's having really interesting nuances to the offer and the product that you present to customers. So the first differentiator is that this product is a blend of 3 different ingredients. There's a core ingredient that is the bulk of the targeted search terms, and it's really what customers are seeking for this particular product. But we've also added 2 other elements that make the first one more powerful and that make the product unique in the marketplace, and that most importantly really align with the needs of this specific customer archetype. So by having 3 different ingredients, it adds a differentiator and it adds a different angle and twist to go against everybody that's just selling that one core ingredient. The second is we spent a lot of time getting different color samples. I think there's probably 8 different color samples that we tested, and we've got a very custom colored cap that stands out. If you remember when the iPod first came out, there was those commercials by Apple. It was all kind of color graded and all you could see were the white headphones in the ears. For this product, we wanted something like that. A color differentiator that even if somebody didn't see the bottle, if they just saw the pill, they knew what the brand was, they knew what the product was. And I think over time, as this brand builds up steam and customer archetype starts to leverage the product, it could be a defining feature of this brand and of this product. So we spent a little bit of time and investment doing both the custom formula and the custom color of the cap. Next is listing photo. We had a 3D rendered, very interesting, very standout with really cool lighting, shadows, backdrops. The label looked really cool and perfect. If you take that extra step with the listing photo and do things like renderings and make it really pro, especially versus the competition, you can stand out, get those click-through rates, and increase the chances of getting traffic and sales on your product. And then next, similar to the visuals of the actual listing photo, the brand has a vibe and a compelling visual element that draws customers in, especially our customer archetype. And then finally, we've got very unique customers that reside in very unique places on the internet. We're going to funnel that traffic, funnel those influencers, and get an additional leg in terms of traffic and volume from outside of Amazon that other traditional supplements in this category, especially those just targeting that one generic ingredient, simply can't do. So that's the differentiator. That's the purple cow elements of this product. Next is keyword analysis. If you followed this channel for a while, you know I am a huge proponent of deep dive keyword research. I'm going to put a link up above to a playlist of all of the keyword videos that I have. Watch them when you get a chance because it's a core part of this strategy. So for this particular one, again, because it was 3 different potential angles and ingredients, we looked at the top 10 most successful ASINs for each and every one of those ingredients. So we did 3 different keyword deep dives. Each one of them probably took 2-3 hours to accomplish and to siphon through. We then found out where competitors were organically ranking well in the top 10, took those words for each 3 of those categories, compiled them together into a master list, which was ultimately over 1,000 keywords. Yes, you heard that right, over 1,000 keywords. Most folks in the Amazon game that aren't experienced are maybe looking at a couple dozen. We're looking at a minimum of a couple hundred. So then after reverse engineering those 10 ASINs, finding out where they were getting sales, finding out where there's keyword opportunities that some of the players, even the successful ones, weren't paying attention to, compiled a master keyword list, focused on relevant keywords that describe the product, focusing on where other competitors were ranking well, and then figuring out where we thought we could rank well and incorporating that into the listing. And that leads to the next step, which is listing optimization, taking these keywords and figuring out which keywords are the most important for search volume and relevancy that we wanted to rank for, optimize for in our listing, and ultimately get sales and conversions on. So relevance is most important. So if you've got a keyword that exactly describes your product and it has 800 searches a month, that's better than a keyword that kind of describes it that's 8,000 a month. So relevance is critical. If you've got a black lipstick as an example that you're selling, black lipstick is going to be way more important than lipstick for women. So if it's a hyper descriptor of what your product is, focus on relevance first. Next, you want to take volume. So if you've got a bunch of really relevant keywords, you're going to want to prioritize those that get the most searches per month. That's going to give you the most traffic, the most bang for your buck on getting organic rank and sales. We then look at the alpha ASINs, so the big dog in the space that's doing really, really well, that's ranked well for keywords. And we want to analyze their listings, see what keywords they have in their title, see what their bullets look like. Really take an all-encompassing view of the keywords that alpha ASIN is optimized for. Make sure that if those aren't covered in our listing, we incorporate them and cover those gaps. And then this has changed a little bit from my listing optimization video because some of the back-end search terms and some other things have changed around a little bit. So the new prioritization that we're following in terms of optimization prioritization is title first, then bullets, then back-end, then description and other elements. So we definitely want to take the most relevant words, the highest search volume words, and incorporate those into the title first, and then rank order down below into other elements of the listing. So the next strategy is what I like to call super friendlies. It's good to have customers, ideally your customer archetype, that you can reach out to, identify and find, and see if they can help you in the initial launch phase to get more insights on your product and in turn also help you rank for that product. So in this case, again, my partner is hyper aware of this customer archetype. He is one of them. He hangs out with them. He's in the communities where they reside. So we leveraged a significant part of his network to find people to help us evaluate our listing once it was live, to purchase the product, and to give us crucial insights in dialing in the launch phase of our product. We also had influencers. There's a very specific traffic source within this niche that we started to reach out to influencers on and had that as part of the super friendly deployment at launch. And again, the key here is people that are willing to give you insights as they shop on your product on Amazon. They're willing to go through some prescribed steps to give you information and also help you rank your product when they purchase it. So all these elements are critical for the super friendly stage. We aren't getting random people from Facebook to do rebates. I think that thing is dead now. I think it's incredibly hard to find high quality buyers. You're not going to get insights on your launch and on your product. And it's going to be very difficult for you to accumulate some of those rank benefits in a cost effective way. So we use super friendlies. From super friendlies, we have a very specific Amazon pay-per-click approach, which takes that master keyword list specifically, focuses at least the first couple of weeks on exact manual targeting only, in addition to product targeting on some of those key competitive ASINs. So these are relevant words only. So if I'm selling black lipstick again, I'm not going to be targeting lipstick for women at that initial phase. It's going to be all black lipstick, gothic lipstick, Halloween lipstick, whatever those hyper relevant terms are for that product. You want only those ones to be included in your initial launch phase of pay-per-click. Also, we get very aggressive with bidding. We'll typically get at least the upper range of Amazon's recommendations, sometimes more. And now a new approach that I have is each individual word is getting its own exact manual campaign. So we have a very specific budget and we have a very specific target for each one of those words. This enables us to get impressions, eyeballs, ultimately clicks, and possibly sales on those keywords that we really want to index for and that we really think are relevant for our product. If we put too many of those together in one campaign, it's possible that budget only gets spread to a certain portion of them. So we've started to break out each individual word into its own campaign at this launch phase. And then finally, I think the secret sauce and one of the elements that every Amazon seller is going to need to become really, really good at moving forward. I've been preaching about this for the better part of the last year. External traffic is king. It helps with rank juice. Amazon loves it. It brings additional eyeballs, traffic, and sales that is very difficult for your competitors that are only on Amazon to compete against. And oftentimes, and especially in the case of supplements, which we'll get into, it's a lot cheaper than some of the on Amazon traffic. So in this particular case, we have a very secret traffic source. I can't describe what it is because it would pretty much give away the customer archetype and product category, but we tapped into this very unique traffic source with this launch. Reddit ads was a massive part of this. I find Reddit ads to be really good for launches, really inexpensive clicks. You can target customer archetypes really well with subreddits. So we spent over $1,000 on Reddit ads. We'll get into that here in a second. We had some influencers. And then we've got a couple in the back pocket that weren't part of this launch, but we're going to deploy soon. One is Twitter ads, which I'm starting to test with. And then there's going to be some YouTube ads and YouTube influencers that we're going to roll out in the weeks ahead. So that is the Heist launch playbook. That's how you get rapid rank, even in competitive categories like supplements. So let's get into the numbers. So first of all, the product numbers. You'll see here that the COGS on this product across all these different scenarios is $3.66. Spent a little bit of more money on the custom formulation. Spent a little bit more money on the custom cap color because it was key to the visual differentiation that we wanted to have. It was key to making our product stand out against others. So that was the COGS. The launch price is $14.99. We hope to see it get up to $24.99, and that's the end game goal. Although we would be more than happy to get in this $19.99 range. So you can see the FBA fees, because it's a small bottle, relatively inexpensive at $3.48. The referral fee is 15% at the various price points. And so at our launch price point, we're just north of 37% margin. At our target range, we would be at 49%. And then if we hit that high range, it would be 56% margin. But all the launch numbers were at that $14.99 price point. In terms of ROI, I just took this ASIN and I plugged it into the SELLERISE profit tool, and then it runs all the numbers on the size, weight, dimensions, cost, etc. So plugging in that $19.99 target price, which I think we'll pretty easily achieve after launch, in addition to the COGS of the product, we're looking at a profit of 208%. So pretty stoked if we hit that number. Amazon pay-per-click. So we're getting into some of the gory bloodbath details. I personally wasn't ready for this. If you guys have seen my other launch case studies, most of my ACOS at launch is sub 50%. I've had a number of them in the 20-30% range that have really flown out the door. Yeah, for supplements, not happening. You'll see here, spent north of $3,600 on this one and an ACOS of 145%. So it's crazy expensive. The clicks cost a lot of money in supplements. And we took a beating in terms of cost, expense, and profitability on the Amazon pay-per-click. Still worth the investment though, because it helped us index for the product. It contributed to the rank, which we'll get into rank here in a second. But that is what the Amazon pay-per-click looked like. Campaign structure, again, focus on a couple dozen, I think, really specific keywords. This one with the arrow is the targeted keyword that has between 30 and 80,000 searches a month, depending on what tool you're looking at. That one was running at 151% ACOS, spent a little north of $1,200 on that particular one. The cost per click was $3.12. Ugh. Not used to seeing that, but hey, you got to pay to play in the supplement game, and it's very expensive on the pay-per-click front. But this is the broader campaign structure. In terms of external ads, the main one, without revealing some of the costs of the other secret sauce traffic source, is Reddit ads. Targeted 4 different subreddits. 3 of those were individual subreddits. One of them, I think I tucked 4 or 5 subreddits into one campaign. And you'll see here we got almost 1.5 million impressions, 4,600 clicks. Our cost per click on average, if you look down here, was 25 cents. So significantly lower than what we saw there in the Amazon space. Decent click-through rate. And then the amount spent here was a little north of $1,100. So just to kind of put that into contrast with Amazon pay-per-click, got this many clicks for $1,100, 25 cents cost per click. The average on Amazon was $2.51. So literally 10 times the cost per click on the Amazon platform. So this is one of the benefits, in addition to sending signals to Amazon that it loves when you send external traffic, in addition to getting additional eyeballs and activity on your listing to help index and rank for keywords. It's significantly cheaper in many cases, and I think in the supplement space, using external traffic is critical. Even if the conversion is half that of what it is on Amazon, it's still 10 times cheaper to drive those clicks and to drive that traffic using a source like Reddit versus Amazon. So key part of the strategy here for this launch. And then finally, just tabling this in terms of launch cost, the pay-per-click was north of $3,500, a little north of $1,100 for that Reddit phase. We had some influencers / friendlies that was mainly just product cost that cost us about $300. So the net all in expense was $5,000 to launch this product. This is the sales after the first couple of weeks. So just north of $4,000, about 291 units. Slow going in terms of sales. We'll get to rank and the value that we saw in rank. The good news here is this was a couple nights ago. We're already starting to hit that steady state, almost $600 a day. So if you can start to run this together, I think it's pretty conceivable that we see a $20,000 to $40,000 a month product, which is kind of what we're after. And we're starting to get profitable here the last couple of days. Once we've kind of toned back some of the pay-per-click stuff, we've kind of settled into organic ranking, driving more organic sales. This is kind of what we've seen the last couple of days, but this is the launch in its entirety, the first week or so. And then on terms of the Amazon stats, you'll see here the total sessions, page views, all that fun stuff. The conversion rate's a little north of 12%, so pretty happy with that. I think we'll start to get up into the 20% range because all of this was done without reviews. We finally just got a rating here, I think a couple days back, but this was mainly with no reviews going up against competitors that had thousands of reviews. So I think we'll start to see this unit session percentage conversion bump up, but that's the Amazon stats there. So those are the numbers. Let's get into the rank, right? One of the more competitive categories, pretty significant search volume. What did it look like? Good news is was able to crack top 10 on the most competitive search term that describes this product explicitly in about a week. Here's the Helium 10 data. Unfortunately, I didn't plug this for both Helium 10 and Sellerise at launch. A bit of an idiot there. I think it was the 20th or so that we launched. So there's some stuff that, some data that didn't show up here before this. But when we first turned it on, you can kind of see there, position 5 on 131. So in about a week, getting position 5 on the most competitive keyword in the category. Pretty stoked on that. That was the focus of the Reddit traffic. That was the focus of the super friendlies. And that was heavily orchestrated in a listing optimization to rank for that keyword. But this is what it looked like over time. And then these are all the keywords that were top 15 as of today. So again, you'll kind of see here a 40,000 search term, a couple of these north of 1,000 here. This one almost 3,000. But all these keywords here are in the top 15 position, again, in the supplements category. Let's take a look at the Sellerise view. Full disclaimer, I'm a partner in Sellerise. Just started kind of playing with the keyword feature, but from the dashboard, if you go to the left-hand side, go to keyword tracker. I've got privacy mode enabled on this video, so this product is kind of blurred out, as is the keywords. But when you pop that open, we've got 170 keywords in the top page, 1,800 keyword search, so a massive amount of keywords we're paying attention to here. If you look at search volume, 86,000 on that top keyword here. And it just shows you the rank since we started tracking this on February 5th, mainly top 10 positions on that one. The cool thing about Sellerise, you can dump thousands, unlimited amounts of words. Helium 10 has a limit of 5,000 across all products. So it's pretty cool to have that ability. The second product there that was ranked 25th is the other kind of ingredient. So we're also ranked well on the second most popular ingredient. And these are all the pages where we're kind of top 15, just showing that. So some cool stats. I think one of the things I like about Sellerise is the fact that it's got unlimited keywords. So you're not limited by 5,000 keywords. And then I trust the search volume a little bit more with Sellerise. There's basically 17 data points that the team and developers leverage to try to hone in and figure out what that search volume is. And they've dialed it in pretty well. Pay attention, there's a lot of cool stuff coming in the keyword realm on Sellerise that I'll obviously share here, but that's the kind of V1 of the dashboard, so it was fun to kind of tinker with that on this. So super stoked, right? We launched a lot of lessons learned, crazy expensive, much more costly in terms of profitability to be able to get that product ranked, but to be able to rank a product across a number of different dimensions, across crazy competitive terms with 30,000 plus searches a month, and to do so in under 2 weeks validates the strategy, validates the rapid rank formula. So in terms of what's next, really got to get reviews. Again, we've started to get a couple now, but we really need to get to 50 plus reviews as soon as possible, ideally over 100 reviews. Have a number of strategies that I'll maybe cover in a different video on what we're doing to get those reviews. Pay-per-click optimization is key. I've already started to significantly draw down the budgets. You can't be running at 150% ACOS in perpetuity and expect to have a business. So starting to get that stuff dialed now that we've got rank. Deploying some of our secret traffic influencers. We have a bunch of those. We're basically reaching out to at least 10 per day and hoping to cull that community of influencers over time so we can use that less expensive external traffic to drive rank here. Using YouTube influencers is going to be the next wave, so we're going to be spending a decent amount of time on that in the coming weeks. And then really have to answer the question, looks like I got 2 4s there, so imagine that being a 5. But can we profitably scale this? Wow, we're just now starting to get into $500 plus per day profitably. Can we scale that over time and continue that? Because you can't keep losing money forever. So that's a big question, is to getting this thing to steady state scaling. And then Shopify is going to be a big part of this brand. We want to get a lot more subscribe and save kind of customers and pushing them to Shopify using that secret traffic source. So as we start to get and stabilize Amazon rank, where we're doing, call it 20 to 30 grand a month profitably, we'll take some of that money, invest it into off Amazon stuff and growing that engine and growing that audience. And then finally looking at some new products. There's a couple new products that we have in the queue once we've stabilized this, once we've started to build out the playbook, build out the broader audience of customer archetypes and influencers in the space. In terms of lessons learned, as with every launch, there's always something to be learned. And putting this all together, I'll start by saying, man, there's a reason why it's hard to rank and to be successful with products in these competitive categories. Starting with the pay-per-click costs. Man, I was not ready for how bad it was going to be. I kind of knew it was going to be expensive. I knew it was going to be an ACOS that was unprofitable. Probably wasn't expecting it to be 150% ACOS, and I wasn't expecting these $2, $3, $4 cost per clicks. For a product that sells for $14.99 in this case at a launch price, and that cost me $3.60, spending $4 on a click, you got to have damn good conversion to make that make sense. And so pay-per-click is going to be a very tough nut to crack, I think, in this supplement game. And then competitive categories require an appetite for loss. I'm used to seeing payback within a month, oftentimes within a couple months on products in other categories. That's just not the case in supplements. It's going to be a war of attrition. You got to suck it up and burn some cash for a period of time before you hit that steady state. So definitely was lessons learned there. And then the launch playbook works for ranking. I mean, I think that's one of the most encouraging things about this. We'll see how the sales pan out long term. We'll see how the profitability pans out long term. But Ponied Up came in with, I thought, a compelling offer, good customer archetype, unique keyword and listing optimization strategy, had a very targeted pay-per-click campaign on Amazon, and then drove external traffic. And that orchestra of activity at launch works. It works in all of my other products that I've launched, and it works in some of the most competitive categories on Amazon, as validated with this launch. So super pumped and encouraged about that. And then fundamentals matter, right? All of those things I talked about in the playbook, you've got to get all of those things right, piece it together, and that's what really makes a product successful on Amazon. And then finally, trust and know your abilities. In this case, I had a pretty good inventory of what my skill set was, what I could and couldn't do. I knew what my budget was. And so when you have those things in place, even if there's uncertainty and there's unknowns, you got to go for it. So that's a key part and a key part of the learnings here in this case. So that is it, guys. That is the rapid rank formula for supplements and validated in another category. I'm going to drop a link down below in both the comments and the description so you can get this visual here of the rapid rank playbook and all of the elements I use to launch a product. Hope this was unique. I've never seen a case study video like this covering a supplement launch. Not all good news like no launches are, but a lot of really cool learnings and a lot of cool validations that this stuff works. As this brand grows and develops, or as it potentially craters, we'll see what happens. I'll obviously share those details on this channel. So if this is your first time here, hit the subscribe button. We do this each and every week, deep dive Amazon content. Until the next one, guys, cheers. I am a fighter.